In a world full of movie podcasts, here is one more. Welcome to Defend Your Movie with Sean Donnelly.
The time has come again. The champion must stand. It can only be one of us. Victoria! So stand up and fight, my friend. There's a title you must defend. Shut it on, bring it to me. Defend your movie.
Hello there, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Defend Your Movie. I am your host, Sean Donnelly, joined by my giggling co-host, Andy Fiore, who laughs every time I start that.
Hey, everybody.
I think it's like, I don't know why you do that, why you laugh every time. I think it's because I'm being serious for a second.
You're never serious.
Podcasts are always like, because you have to be like, okay, everybody, hello, what do we know? Like, and it just becomes like this weird world.
It
I
does.
think, in general.
And that voice you hear is our guest.
Hello.
For this week on Defend Your Movie. Andy, would you like to introduce our guest?
Our guest is the very funny Casey Balsham,
Thank
everybody.
you. Hi, shut up about it, huh?
Oh, that's an inside joke we
Yes,
have.
well,
Shut up about
Shut
what?
up about it.
Nothing.
I don't know if I like how close you guys are right off the bat.
Really?
Yeah, it's really. I really feel left out all of a sudden.
Well, we spend a lot of times at the clubs.
Yeah, he's hanging, chilling.
We just find each other, I think, on the same shows a lot. So,
Yeah.
There was like a couple
know?
like months where we were, I think every weekend we were like doing shows.
Yeah, so you develop little inside things.
We
I don't
just
even know what Shut Up About It.
No, we just have one joke and then we just have run it into the fucking
And you don't even know the origin?
Nope.
Yeah, it's not even worth.
I think Casey was breaking my balls where I was like, all right, shut up about it.
Yeah, that's.
And
You just snapped at me once. It was really funny.
shut up about it. Yeah. And then we just really haven't, I haven't let it go. I think it's very funny.
Well, and then one of the guys on Game of Thrones, it was
Peter Dinklage.
Yeah,
We had a little Dinklage.
It was a real. He goes, "All right, shut up about it," and
Yeah.
then I texted it to her.
Yes.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
that's a weird thing for Game of Thrones. Is that what you're saying? It's like out of place for Game of Thrones.
And, yeah, it was. Well, it was also just our little catchphrase.
Oh, I
And
gotcha.
so
Okay.
I said, I got to send this to old Balsham.
All Balshammy.
Apparently, there's some old movie my dad told me about. Like, there's a scene in like some Caesar movie, right? Where like one of his generals walks over to Caesar. It's like from like the 50s or 60s.
Yeah.
And he comes over and he goes, "Caesar, we have trapped the enemy. They're not passing the line. And he gives them a whole rundown of what the military does. And Caesar just looks up and goes, "Huh?" And he had
In the
the
true
same thing.
parlance of,
What?
Huh? So
He cups his ear. And
my
everything.
dad and his friend Bill Barish, every time they saw each other, they go, "Huh?"
yeah, it's like that.
Bill Barish would call, and I'd be like, "Dad, Bill Barish on the phone," and he'd pick up the phone and go, "Huh?" Every time. So thank you so much for doing this,
Thanks for
Casey.
having me.
Yeah.
You know the rundown of the show.
Mm-hmm.
We pit two movies against each other. But normally we talk. We do a little. What'd you watch this week before we
Yes.
start the actual showdown of the movies? And Andy, you have a movie you watched this week.
Well, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I hope everybody's holiday was a nice one. And I went home to New Jersey, which afforded me a lot of time to watch some films.
That's like, and they always play the best movies over the holidays.
Yeah.
They play all the good childhood nostalgia movies.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
they're like, oh, you're gonna be with your family. Let's also make you sad. Like
They know
let's
how to
remember.
keep you-
Let's long for your kidhood.
Yeah, the Thanksgiving celebration I went to, they were playing. They had the AMC on, and I guess AMC was just playing Gone with the Wind on repeat.
Oh,
And I'm like,
really?
I don't know. I know that's a classic, but is it really for repeat? It's like 5 hours long.
It's 5, yeah.
So you play it like 3 times over, whatever.
My
4
AMC
times
was
over.
Godfather 1 and 2 back to back for 24 hours. Just
Was it? Maybe it
Yeah.
wasn't AMC then. Maybe it was something else. But I mean that type of
Kind of
marathon.
thing.
Yeah. What did you watch?
well, I went to the movies and saw Bohemian Rhapsody. I saw the Queen biopic.
Now I've heard multiple things about this.
Yes.
I liked it. I didn't love it. It's got good Queen concert footage with a guy who Rami Malek, the guy from Mr. Robot, he lip syncs, but they don't dub him with Freddie Mercury. It's a guy who's been like the most popular
Playing.
Freddie Mercury cover singer,
That's
oh,
bad.
really?
and does a pretty good job, but you
But-
can tell it's off.
Yeah, that's kind of sucks because you hear those songs enough on the radio that you know what Freddie
Exactly.
Mercury
You're
sounds
like, that is. It's one of those things where you're like, that's just a little not right.
And it's not like they switch singers like it's AC/DC and you're like,
Exactly.
Could that have been the Bon Scott years or the other guy? You know, like whatever.
So it was good. It's the Freddie Mercury story. It's his movie.
But did they
Right.
go into like the dark? Because I think wasn't the whole thing was that Sacha Baron Cohen was going to make kind of like this dark
Yeah,
version,
he was signed on
and
for a little
then
while.
They were like,
this is
we
about
want
as
happier.
much of an advertisement for the band as you can get.
See,
Okay.
that's what's so crazy to me about this movie. Because the way it seems to me, from what I've heard, is like it's almost like it's a fun sing along. Like you just go in and it's kind of a fun
Kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's
It
really,
shows the
like,
origin
there's-
of the band.
So they're glossing over AIDS. They're just.
I was
they're
just about to say, I was like,
They don't gloss over it, but it's
no?
that's the end.
Yeah.
For Fred.
Yeah,
But
they're just
Yeah,
like
more ways
AIDS
than one.
credits.
No, it's not to. I'm not ruining anything, but the movie ends on Live Aid. Like that's where they cut the film off. So there's no more story after Live Aid.
So
But
they basically,
it's
like-
known at that point.
They're like, check out this rockin' band, and then they're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, and there was other stuff too, and you know,
Right.
yeah, that's fine,
He
fine.
was
So I
Kinda
enjoyed it as a
good.
Queen fan, but it was okay. I didn't hate it. I liked it fine.
Yeah. I think a lot of people wanted to see the Sacha Baron Cohen version because I know even like Robbie, my boyfriend, was like, he's like, I wanted to see it when he was making it and when he was going to be Freddie Mercury. It was going to be that interests me. This one kind of the sing along doesn't interest me.
Because he wanted to make like a drama.
Like
That's what
like
it should have. That's what it should have been.
Yeah.
Like you can always have like. We had Wayne's World already, where you have the fun.
I know.
Bohemian Rhapsody scene. Like you know what I mean? Like we know how great they are as a band.
Yeah.
We had the Queen's movie. It was called Wayne's World. We already had this. What are we doing?
But you know what I mean? Like they've already been done so many times in a fun way. Like why not show how heavy it got and like how groundbreaking it was that he had this and how like what he thought about it. Like
Because was he openly gay as a person?
No,
He wasn't,
very
right?
much not.
Okay.
It was very speculated in like the English tabloids and stuff, and there's a pretty decent part about that.
Okay.
But he never admitted it one way or the other. I think until like the very, very end, where he was like, "I like the company of men,
and he
preferably."
it wasn't the day he came out. Or the day, or no, who was the day they admitted they had it? Oh, I think that was Eazy-E, maybe. The day they admitted they had AIDS, the next day they died.
Oh yeah, it was easy. It was
Easy.
like 24 hours or something crazy like that.
I guess I just figured like, screw it,
Yeah.
it's done. Whatever.
Yeah.
So you're saying it was okay,
It was okay.
but were you watching it? Were you like, oh, this is badass? Like this is fun to watch.
It was fun.
Is it worth going to see in the theater for like
No.
the crowds or anything?
No.
Mainly like the crowd shots or whatever it was.
Yeah, I guess so. There's some really cool Live Aid shots where it's like 100,000 people at Wembley Stadium. There's like some cool sweeping crane shots.
That's cool.
That's pretty fun.
And it's from the real concert. It's a real concert. For
I have a theory that it's not, but
Both, maybe?
they're you know how when you go to a concert, the screens on the sides of the stage.
Yeah.
I think that was real concert footage, and the actual band that you were watching in the movie was the fake band.
Really?
Yeah,
They
I was
mixed it
trying
together.
to compare it. I'm like, that really looks like Freddie Mercury on the screen, like the real Freddie Mercury.
right. So they like superimpose
So- Yeah.
I want to tell you, there's a great YouTube video you guys can look up that is from a Green Day concert before they get started, before they start for the night. It's some kind of outdoor festival, it seems like. I don't even know if it was just a Green Day concert, but it's before Green Day goes on. The crowd, I guess they're just playing music for the crowd, and Bohemian Rhapsody comes on, and the whole crowd sings Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
And they do an amazing version of it, but
yeah.
you see it from the view of, like, above the drum set. Like, you're just watching the
Oh,
crowd.
yeah, that
There's
video
no
is
band
great.
on stage. It's
That's
awesome.
It's awesome.
So if you
Yeah.
haven't seen it, check it out.
Yeah.
If you type in Green Day concert, Bohemian Rhapsody,
yeah.
crowd sing along
It's
or
honestly,
something.
Nice.
it went like super viral, and then I think it went viral again because I just saw it, and Robbie's like, "Oh yeah, that's been out for a couple years." I was like, "Well, I
gotta
just saw
watch
it," so I think they
Yeah.
were like, "It's been like still circulating, but it's,
It's
awesome."
so good.
So
I
awesome.
watch it and I get like emotional watching it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
It's just
I
weird to
teared
see
up a
that
little bit
many
at the end.
people moving in like unison, like doing the same thing. You're
Yeah.
just like that's the reach of.
Well, there's a
the
cool
song.
Like,
part.
I listen. I'm like, poor little Freddie, poor little Pinkus.
There it is.
There it is.
Chalk it up.
Alex. I did it. Seinfeld reference. Poor little
Poor
Pinkus.
little Pinkus. There's one every episode.
All right.
Yeah. So I'm sorry.
And then at home, I watched. Me and my dad watched the Gilda Radner documentary, Love Gilda.
Oh, I heard it's awesome.
I wasn't crazy about it.
Why not
It
enough
was a
info?
nice story, but it didn't really like get crazy deep. It was again a very much pro. We love Gilda. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was very like. I didn't learn
Did you
anything.
know much
didn't-
about her?
I was going to say I didn't learn anything that I didn't already know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a
it
good
was just
sign.
like a glossy kind of. ever.
You should always walk away from a documentary. You're like, did you know she was a pilot?
Yeah,
also? Like,
right.
It's always got to be something else. You're like, holy shit, Gilda Radner had horses. Like,
Yeah.
it's always something that you're like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
No, it was a very nicely done. It was okay. But it was cool. My dad kind of was into it, which was nice because he was like, "Oh, I really didn't know anything about her."
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's what I watched.
That's awesome. I must have watched stuff on TV, but I don't recall. I went to go see Creed 2 with
Nice.
our friends from the How to Watch Movies the Right Way podcast.
Okay.
Let's give a shout out to them. Very funny guys.
Dip it
Clayton and Pat Stango. Clayton Gumbert and Pat Stango. They run an awesome podcast. And I knew I was going to see it, so literally the night before I watched Creed 1.
Yeah,
Now, I gotta tell you, I love Creed 1.
I like Creed 1 a lot too.
Creed 1, have you seen Creed 1?
No, I hear it's a real tearjerker for boys. If I can say that, tearjerk, yeah. Yes, I hear the boys think it's sad.
Well, especially when you have a dead, if you have a dead dad, it's even more.
The dead
It's a
dad
real
demographic.
Dead dad.
It really sticks in your
Hitting that
craw if you
dead
got a
dad,
DD.
yeah.
I mean, having a dead dad is a new I backpacked across Europe. Let's be honest. Everybody's got a fucking dead dad.
No,
Okay, we get
the backpacking, that's the rich version of the dead dad.
Yeah.
That is the rich version.
That's the
of
trust
dead
fund.
dad.
Yeah.
My dad died, but I
I couldn't backpack through the tri-state area.
And you're like, and even then it's pushing it.
No, but you're watching this. My dad, I do have a dead dad, but he's been passed on for a long time. But you still, with certain
Why is it so
things-
funny to Casey?
Yeah, I know, Casey, you're kind of evil. Jesus
I don't know,
Christ.
I feel like it's just kind of like it's the DD. I don't know. Keep going. I'm so sorry
The
for your
Dead-
loss.
Dead Dad?
Yes.
Dead Dad podcast. DDP. That's what I call it. I never bring this up. I bring my dad, but I don't say, I'm like
You bring up mostly fond memories of watching movies with your dad or movie stuff your dad loved.
yeah. Kiss 2 fingers to the sky. That's for you, Pops. No, but this actually, it does kind of, because, Apollo Creed is his dad.
Yeah.
And there is enough moments in it where you're like, oh, this is kind of high drama for dead dad people.
Yeah.
And the only way they could have made it more sad is if they played Father and Son by Cat Stevens at the end of it.
What about Cat's Cradle? Little Harry
With baby
Chapin.
pictures. You're like, stop it.
I'm excited. I'm going to see it right after this.
Creed 2?
So no, don't ruin.
I won't ruin it for you. But we can talk about Creed 1, because I saw Creed 1 as
Yes,
well. right
I watched
before
it this weekend again too.
Creed 1, can I tell you what I thought comparing them? Or not
Sure.
details?
Yeah.
Creed 1 I like better.
Okay.
I'll give it to you this. Actually,
That's what I
it's
hear.
usually-
that's usually what happens.
That's what the internet says.
But I'll tell you what did happen. If you follow Rotten Tomatoes, they got it right. Because I think Creed 2 is 10% lower on Rotten Tomatoes than Creed 1, or it was at the time I checked. And I like this movie like 10% less than I like the last one.
Oh, okay.
It's like, which is still a pretty good average.
Yeah.
Totally.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
I love the boxing in Creed 1. It's like it's so much more realistic than any of the Rocky boxing.
Oh, 100%.
It is so well done. Where you're like, damn, you're like, somebody gets hit and you're like, ooh.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
you're like, that kind of looked real. Even though I know it's not.
It's
Yeah.
funny you bring that up, Andy. I'll tell you why. Because I wonder, now did boxing just change in 30 years? Whether they just got more and more advanced with like the techniques and stuff, and then when MMA was brought in, like the actual upright fighting changes? Or is it just movies, they've been able to convey that better because they get better stunt coordinators?
I think both.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I think we as people have a thirst for like watching people like bleed
Oh,
now.
totally.
Because remember, like when
Yeah.
UFC first came out, it was like once every a couple
Yeah.
months, and then now it's just like you can flip on Saturday morning
Yeah.
cartoons and see like a
Yeah.
UFC fight. Like it's insane.
But
also,
if you can watch
yeah.
the Rocky movies and clearly see like swings and misses
Yeah.
where like Rocky's like, ugh, like he,
But even the style of boxing back then was different.
Yeah, I
Even
think
if you
both.
watch, it's like, you know what it is? It's like, you know how they used to fight like the Notre Dame logo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and then now.
Put them up, put them up, put them
And-
up.
Yeah, but now this is just, and it's an advance, but it's because we still have the normal stance. Because they even have even those old boxing posters, like
But-
their hands are far
Sure.
away.
The other thing too is you got to remember
We're bigger people.
Well, the Rocky, the Rocky
Yeah.
actors are actors.
Yeah.
In Creed 1, your Tony Blue was like a professional. He
Yeah.
plays Ricky
Real
Conlon.
fighters.
Yeah.
Real
Yeah.
fighters. So
Yeah.
it's like they're probably consulting and just going.
And
Yeah, so it's both. It's
Michael
an
B. Jordan
advancement.
is just jacked.
Oh, I heard he got
And then
rolled,
in
but-
two, I don't know. And in two, he's like jacked, and then they have this whole thing, and then he's like more jacked. And you're like, how did this even happen?
Well, now I'm really excited.
I think now, like at the same, like I mean, I don't know. Isn't protein powder kind of a newer? I mean, like you think about like all these like things. That people are using to jack themselves
exactly.
up. So I think we're
They're
just also
bigger,
like,
they're stronger,
we're bigger, we're stronger, we're
better
faster.
stunts,
yeah,
better technology.
The actors also have like probably more time to get themselves all jacked
Totally.
up than before. You know, it becomes a thing where that's part
not
of
all
your
bad in
job
2018.
now. Yeah, we got
No.
Michael B. Jordan jacked the fuck up.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, we did lose a great, I don't know, kind of a really jack of all trades.
We should call this
week.
this segment "Two Fingers to the Sky."
I know we did.
Kiss two fingers to the sky.
R.I.P. Ricky J.
Ricky J.
So a really sad
This
one.
episode's dedicated to you, Ricky J. You and my dead dad.
Ricky J is just one of those guys that pops up and you're like, I love that guy.
I love him because he's a great actor and he's an offbeat. You think of Mammoth movies when you see him.
Mm-hmm.
You know who he is?
See, I love Boogie Nights, but I can't picture his face. So
He's
I'll have
like
to-
the-
I'll
he's
have
the
to
editor.
Google it.
He's the editor in Boogie Nights. Heavyset guy, older guy. He's the guy when they're watching the
show me
the
the-
dailies from like the last movie they're making. He goes, "It's a real film, Jack." Like,
It's a
Yeah,
film
I-
editor. It's a real
yeah.
film, Jack. It's the greatest life. Anytime I can say that, I will.
It's a real
What
film,
else?
Jack.
What else was he in besides Boogie Nights?
He's in a bunch of David Mamet movies. So
Okay.
he's in. He's probably in Things Change. He's definitely in. Oh my god. The later ones with like Campbell Scott in them and stuff that I can't recall what the names
Okay.
are. But yeah, he's in a bunch of them.
You can scroll through them. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, his face looks familiar.
Yeah, he's
He's in Magnolia.
Character
He's in Magnolia
actor.
as
Looks
well.
Like, he's like one of those guys that was this age for the past like
Yes,
40 years.
always.
Like,
Absolutely.
looks
Always.
the exact same.
And,
Yes.
and
His
apparently,
whole life.
I was just reading a little bit more. He is like one of the greatest sleight of hand card
I was
illusionists
just going to
ever.
say he's also a magician.
Well, that's what he's known for.
He holds the Guinness Book of World Records for throwing
Deadwood.
the fastest card. Like
Really?
Yeah, like 90 miles per hour, something ridiculous.
yeah, you wonder.
insane.
You always wonder.
Oh
about
yeah, it
these-
was great on Deadwood.
You wonder about these kind of guys because how do you think he would have been in person? Do you think he's one of these guys that like, you know, he must have people approaching him all the time, like diehard Magic fans and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah, either that or you're like, yeah, enough with the cards.
Are there diehard Magic fans?
yes,
Oh yeah.
Really, like
Oh,
that could
yeah.
spot a magician on the street?
Really?
I mean, like,
you really?
Well, if it
you don't
wasn't
think
like
so?
David Blaine or like Chris Angel, I'd be like, I couldn't fuck.
Oh yeah, no, it's a
there's-
scene.
but there's people
oh, it's
that
a
are
scene, man.
scene, man. Oh,
Number
God.
Number two. Oh my God, we got a 2 for this episode. Oh yeah, definitely. Just like what comedians are. It's
Yeah,
the
I guess-
same type of deal.
I just-
Harrison
there's
Greenbaum
kids.
does both. You know Harrison?
Oh yeah.
He does both, and he knows like the deep cut magicians.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, I remember when he had that
he
Facebook
does.
beef with
And
some
now they're starting to get more of
stolen
a voice because they have that show. Not bullshit. The Penn and
Illusionists.
Teller. No, the Penn and
not
Teller.
bullshit. I got that show. It's not bullshit.
Penn and Teller have that show.
I love Penn and Teller.
I know what you mean. It's like
It's
if
the
they
one
can
that-
try and figure it
Oh,
out.
fool us. Fool,
yeah, fool.
yeah, whatever it is.
Which
So
is
Good for them.
So there's so many like up and coming magicians on that. Like they probably get a following from that from magic people.
That's their like
Yeah.
last comic standing, or
Yes.
their The Voice.
yes,
Right.
exactly.
So funny. I would
No,
have
it's
never
probably
thought
more
Millennials
like Last
had a
Comic
magician
Standing.
version.
If I had to
Okay,
guess, yeah.
okay.
But yeah,
That's incredible.
I think definitely they have a whole scene that
Yeah.
they would
They have
recognize
groupies?
it. I know I would. If I was a Magic fan, then tried to become a magician, there was like a low. They have, yeah, I'm sure they do have groupies.
I just think they
Well,
have
they all
girls.
disappear.
They have girls that pull their own scarves out. Like, ah!
They just all show up in gowns.
Yeah. They're already cut in half. They're like,
Yeah, just
I did this for you.
cut them in half, double the groupies.
Yeah.
That's your real decor. You know, I was trying to think card. Nah.
Decor.
We'll give you your best shot.
I
Anyway.
know.
Don't worry
It's
about
not.
it.
It's the limit of my abilities.
Yeah, we had a couple.
But I think most of our fans who listen to this podcast know Ricky J. and you love Paul Thomas Anderson. And
Well, he's is he in There Will Be Blood as well?
I don't
No,
think
I
so.
thought maybe
but
he was in like one of
not
the
100%.
bar restaurant scenes or something.
He's
But
definitely
maybe I could be wrong.
Magnolia, obviously, in Boogie Nights. And
Magnolia, Boogie Nights, and a bunch of David Mamet movies.
Maybe the
Like,
best line,
great
I think.
actor. Just a really like cool, like one of those guys that you're like, oh, he probably just acting just came really easy to him. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because he just plays himself in these things. Like he's just a
Yeah.
cool character actor that when he shows up, you're like, oh, this guy's cool. You know,
Yeah.
like I'm really into it.
Like the what's his name? Sam Water. What the guy with the really deep voice that was just in A Star Is Born and does the Chevy commercials?
Oh no, you mean Sam Elliott?
Sam Elliott.
Is that
mustache from Big
Is that
Lebowski?
Sam Elliott?
That's Sam Elliott.
Okay, that's Sam Elliott. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like him. I mean, he just
Sioux
seems like,
City Sarsaparilla?
Yeah, that's a good one.
He seems cool. He seems like
He's
down
awesome. Yeah,
make
Sam
fun of your
Elliott's
outfit.
really cool.
Yeah.
And whenever you see Sam Elliott without a mustache, you feel like you wonder, did he get paid less? Because it's like such a part of
Is
him,
he
you know.
in trouble?
It's like Tom Selleck and him are just known for their
Yeah,
mustache.
you can't not have a mustache.
Okay, so let's get to the meat and potatoes part of the podcast.
Boy.
You guys know what the matchup is already because you read the title of the podcast. But this week we are doing Fast Times at Ridgemont High versus Dazed and Confused.
Oh, man.
And I really want to try something here because it's the first week that because me and Andy will just do a lot of episodes ourselves. But now that you're here, I'm kind of in the middle of the road on both of these.
Right.
Like
This is closer than you think. I think.
What do you mean close to that?
These movies, doing my research, I go, wow, because I love them both, but I'm firmly for one.
You are. Well, that's the thing. So, Andy, you are going to be fighting for
Fast Times.
and Casey, you're going to be fighting for
Dazed and Confused.
So, how I'd like to do it is, if you want, I can moderate it, and I would like maybe moderator / judge at the end. I would need, and maybe it makes it easier for the show if you guys try to convince me that one of these is better than the other.
Okay.
And you actually have a target to hit when you're doing your convincing.
Deal.
And let's start off with our guest. If you would like to tell us, just give your general statements on why Dazed and Confused is better than Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Well, first off, I think Dazed and Confused made stars of some actors, okay? They are recognizable scenes. There are...
Point this one already.
Shut your face. You fucker. First off, Dazed and Confused, I feel like there's more quotable lines. There may be some quotable characters in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, but I think I could barely even say one line from there. Also, Fast Times at Ridgemont High in these days, and like now with what's going on, it's kind of creepy. Like, it's literally about just this 15-year-old girl fucking all these guys.
That's not
my
all
God,
of it is
that's
about.
all
Are
it's
you Me
about.
Tooing Fast Times?
Yes, she's Me Too Fast
I
Times.
did
That
not
has nothing to
consent
do.
to seeing any of that.
Time does not matter in
I
here.
just think
the
Dazed-
year out there
I
does.
know.
Oh my God!
I just think Dazed and Confused came up. It was just so much more fun. It was. I think it was like at the time when it came out, like at our age, like we all needed to see kids that were just like people kind of our age doing our age. I mean, maybe a couple of them were old. Like I know Matthew McConaughey was older and stuff like that. But it was just like people were smoking pot and they were just like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like
No,
they were,
it's the
they
last-
Were, they
it's
were
the last day of
exploring-
senior
sorry.
year.
They were exploring in a healthy way as opposed to that movie where they were exploring in dugouts doing creepy stuff with grown-ups.
Well, here's the thing. Dazed and Confused came out in '93.
Yes.
93, about 1976.
Yes.
About 1976.
And then that was 82.
82.
And to help your case here, do you want to give some of the names that they made stars of? Because
There's it was London, one of the London brothers, maybe the one that's not crazy
Oh,
now.
yeah, he became a
Jeremy.
big star.
Yeah, he-
Mila
big star there.
Jovovich, Ben Affleck. There was
didn't
also
make him a
Matthew
star.
McConaughey.
Well, but didn't make him a star after that.
Which one? Ben
He was in
Affleck?
other stuff after.
Yeah, but he kept. But I mean, he got cast over Vince Vaughn. I read.
Yeah,
the
someone read the
Wikipedia. We
Wikipedia.
did the Wikipedia. He got cast over Vince Vaughn. Okay.
Okay.
But he became kind of like he started doing all those little things, and I think it was like that. And then he went on
I think
to
it was
like the Kevin
climbing the
Smith-
ladder.
He was climbing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Parker Posey was in it. Renee
Yeah.
Zellweger was in it. All these people that went on to kind of become like these faces of this certain genre. That's a general
time
genre.
period, yeah. I
A
feel like-
general genre.
I feel like 90s,
late
of
90s.
movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, like during the Empire record stage, during like there was like all like 5 years where I feel like there was the same cast of characters
They were
during
the
the Kevin
superstars of
Smith
those
years.
kinds of movies.
Yeah, because the Kevin Smith years too, with all
Yeah.
those ones had the same.
Joey
kind of-
Lauren Adams.
Joey Lauren Adams.
Yeah.
Yes, all of those guys. So it was a fun movie. It also had the guy that was also in Buffy the Vampire Slayer who looks like a wolf, and I don't know his name, but
trying
he
to
was
think
in
who
that
you
one.
mean.
He had
Oh,
the thick eyebrows.
No, you mean Adam Goldberg?
No, not Adam.
Oh,
Goldberg.
oh, okay.
It was a different guy, but he was in it, and then
Oh no, Nicky Cat. Is it Nicky Cat?
I think it might be that.
Yeah,
guy.
he's in Boiler Room.
Maybe
Okay.
He was in Buffy the movie Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yes, Nicky Cat. That's who it is.
That's
Okay,
Wow.
let's give a counterpoint here.
I
Big
can
star,
Now,
count.
do you want to
Nicky
give your
Cat.
general statement, or do you want to
Okay,
address
well,
what you
yeah.
said?
Obviously, if you are listening to this podcast, you probably know the background. But yeah, Fast Times at Ridgemont High is filmed in 1982. It's a present day. It's about a year, whereas Dazed and Confused is about the last day of
It's
school.
about the
Yeah.
time that it came out.
Yeah.
Cameron Crowe is where this comes from. He went undercover to a high school to do research on this. He actually
is that
lived
what it
this.
was?
Yeah, this
'Cause
is
it's
what
based
it's
on
based
his
on.
book, right?
It's based on Fast Times at Ridgemont High, the life of a blah 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 blah. And he goes to a high school undercover for a whole year
Wait, are you sure he just wasn't in high school?
No.
No, I am positive.
According to Wikipedia. According to the first sentence on Wikipedia
So you
that
guys-
we both read.
That was his research because he was a rock. He was like, it's like American. What am I talking about? Almost Famous.
Okay, okay.
That's kind of about him.
Yeah.
You know, how he was like a journalist.
Right. Okay.
So that alone is very cool to me that he went to those lanes. If we're talking star power, that Born, I can count 4 Oscars off the top of my head.
Count 'em
4
off.
Best Actor. Sean Penn, twice. Forrest Whitaker, and Nick Cage.
Ooh.
All in this movie.
Ooh.
All
but
Best
nobody
Actor.
likes any of them. Like, we all hate them. We love Ben Affleck.
I think people
we love Parker
loved,
Posey.
but okay.
And one of them went bonkers. But then he's going to
Forrest
come back.
Whitaker is pretty badass. Best Actor. Nick Cage is a badass. Love him or hate him. And just came back with my favorite film of 2018, which we'll discuss in a later episode.
Which one is
Mandy.
it? See, nobody even knows that movie.
Oh, our listeners know it.
You guys don't know it, right? They told me. I got a buzz in my ear that said, "Shut up, Andy."
Sean Penn now might not be beloved, but this character is.
That character-
Spicoli is beloved.
I will say, I think the only thing that I like about that movie is Spicoli, and it's so. I told you. Listen. I sent him a text, and I was like, "I'm going to save this hot take for the pod." But
All right.
I was so underwhelmed when I watched Fast Times.
Wow.
I thought it was going to change my life, and I was like, "Oh, a guy gets caught jacking off, and this 15-year-old girl is fucking a bunch of adults." I was like, "What is this movie trying to tell me?" And this guy wants to pay off
those
his
are just the
Subaru
big
or whatever
guns.
it is.
Those are just the big
I
guns.
was just so like, ugh. Whereas when I watched Dazed and Confused, Dazed and Confused is the movie where you can watch it like over and over and over. Like it's that one that you put on every
We'll
night.
get to the flip test.
And
at
it's
the
a
end.
very iconic scene for guys. It might be a guy versus girl thing because the Phoebe Cates thing
Phoebe- yes.
is very
Iconic.
iconic.
Yes.
It's like
With
it's like
playing in stereo by the cars in the background. You know that song before, even if you didn't know that song.
It's like that Bo
That's where you
Derek-
know that song from. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah,
Phoebe-
right. That's what people that made that song famous.
And so we're just talking the big stars. You got Phoebe Cates, you got Judge Reinhold, you got Jennifer Jason Leigh.
well, Judge Reinhold, he's like gone.
Okay, but
Yeah,
like
but he was big in the 80s.
I
catapulted.
liked Judge
Jennifer
Reinhold and vice versa.
So did I. Yeah.
Oh,
we
that
talk
would've been
about
good.
vice versa. I love vice
And
versa.
also, Judge Reinhold might be our third Seinfeld reference. He's the close
Oh
talker.
yeah, he's the close talker.
Yeah. Judge Reinhold was good. He was a
He
fun
plays.
actor then.
There's a lot of what I like
awesome.
about Fast Times. A lot of sub stories, so you kind of get attached to different characters.
But that's the same in Dazed and Confused.
It's
they all have
more
their
about
own
one
journey.
day as an ensemble. I
But
think.
see, I think that's so much more. I like to see something in real time. Like I like the fact that it starts with one point and you kind of have all these problems that essentially resolve themselves or don't by the end of the day. Like I
got
liked
that in Fast
I
Times.
liked seeing that.
You got 4 seasons. You got the whole year for
I
it to
don't
be
want
resolved.
seasons.
Well, it's kind
a
of interesting.
day.
It's kind of interesting that Dazed and Confused is like you think it's going to be about this party they're setting up, and then very quickly that party gets canceled. So the whole thing is about them just trying
Yeah,
to find shit
Pickford's
to
house.
do.
I
which
love
is
Dazed
way
and
more
Confused too. This is a hard
realistic.
one for
That's
me.
what I'm saying. Yeah, it's like we all just want to find a party, and like we're like, oh, that's the old guy that's going to buy us beer. That's also kind of creepy. Fine, that's fine. And then also
I do
like
love that
the
scene.
guy getting drunk and getting make out with his crush. We've all been there when you're like, oh, I know when I can make out this person when I get them.
So
drunk
which
and
one
do
wins
it.
on story? Do you think? All right, does
I think you have a nicer
Fast
arc.
Times have a better story?
I think so. You have a nice arc of a whole year of high school.
And is
rather
Fast
than-
Times dealing with more serious topics?
Absolutely.
It is, and that's why it's like so inappropriate that everyone's like, I loved it. That's why it's just basically, it's a girl. She lies about her age. So she has a 15-year-old girl has sex with a 26-year-old in a dugout. First off, if you're 26,
point.
go somewhere where 26-year-olds go. Like you're already a friggin' loser. and then she's gonna be somebody's. Yeah, she's literally a baby. She's a fucking baby. It's disgusting. I remember feeling
who's
so
that-
uncomfortable.
What's that guy's
watching
name? Robert something. The ticket scalper. He
Not
goes,
Ron Swanson, but
no, Robert. He goes, "Hey, Red, nice jacket."
Hey, are you really 19? Yeah, I am.
Yeah, I'm so 19. Look at my 19-year-old stuff. It's just it's creepy. And then she has sex
Well,
with,
back in
with
the
the other
80s,
guy.
Oh yeah.
And
well,
then
with,
she eventually
with
just
Damone.
ends up with her brother's friend. Like
Mike
you're just
Damone,
like,
that's
oh
his
wait,
name.
yeah. And then she eventually just ends up with this loser that was like, I like you.
That's
and
Ratner.
it's just like, yeah, but it's
Mark Ratner.
they're
He's
all
a sweetie.
losers. He's a
Mark,
loser.
wait, you didn't have any sympathy for Mark
I had
Radner?
no sympathy for her or any of them.
Radner's the gentleman. He's trying to do it the
I
right
had
way.
sympathy for Mr. Hand.
Mark Radner is doing it like the straight up high school way where he has a crush and he wants to ask her out. He wants
Yeah,
to be
on like the little
nervous.
sister, and then he just waits for her to like sleep, or like he just waits for her to do all these other guys. And
He
then he's
wasn't
like,
waiting.
Me?
It
Me
was
now?
she wasn't waiting.
Me now?
She had to hit kind of a bottom with realizing that those situations. She was too young for those situations.
It's a great. It was of that era. And it dealt with real things. That shit does happen where it's like, hey, my best friend went behind my back and fucked this girl I really like, got her pregnant. They had to get an abortion.
And girls in high school do try to, back in the day, maybe not now, but I think even now, they try to fuck older guys.
And by the
It does
way-
happen.
But is that what we want to see? I don't know. I like when
But it
I
was
watch
1982.
a
It's not
movie.
what we want to see. It was,
It was 82.
yeah.
I know, but even in the like, I mean, I just feel like if I'd rather leave a movie being like they all got high and he kissed a girl as opposed to being like, wow, that abortion scene was crazy.
Yeah, but
you
it
know?
ends
Like,
on
I
a
just
fun
don't-
note. It's still a comedy, straight through.
I guess so.
It's just a more well-formed picture.
I disagree. I also can't look at Jennifer Jason Leigh without thinking of single white female.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what I
hard.
mean? I'm just like, this bitch is gonna get crazy.
Let me ask you this:
Okay.
which one portrays the time period better? Because one of them was made actually in the time
That's a
period.
great
One was made
question.
20 years later. So now all of us are young enough where we don't know the 70s. I was born in 78, so I don't know
Yeah.
what would 76 feel like as a high school student. But if you had to guess,
Well,
I think they're both pretty accurate.
And I think
It's a
when
tough
you
one.
do one of those ones where you go back in time, they try to really make it a fun throwback for those people. So I think they
Like a
add,
for real thing.
Like, so I think they add more stuff to make people be like, I remember that. I remember, you know what I mean? So I would say like it must be fun for people.
That's
who grow up in
Dazed.
city. That's
The
what I'm
other
saying.
one
I
was
Dazed.
think
doing-
Like,
Fast
grow-
Times maybe sticks more to like they have after-school jobs. That
like the way that the Fast Times conveyed the 80s, is kind of like how Stranger Things nailed it on
Yeah.
Netflix like recently.
But they
Yeah,
weren't
yeah.
trying to convey the 80s. It was just made in the 80s.
Right,
Yeah, it was
exactly.
just a
what I mean?
present
That's what
day
I'm saying.
film.
So
Yeah.
it would be like being
well,
like,
by that alone, maybe.
saying
was
like
better.
Creed did really relayed 2016. You know, it's a movie that was made in that year, so
Yeah.
you have all the fun references. Whereas Dazed, I think because they went back, I think it
All right, that's
becomes
a fair
more
point.
fun where they like.
It
add
is
in the
easier to
extra-
go back and be like, hey, remember
because,
that?
Yeah, and then throw all that fun stuff.
And
in
also,
for
as a
people.
side note, like it was kind of sad. You know what's kind of sad? That'll be gone. That's gone.
I know.
That's gone.
What do you mean it's gone?
That feeling? Like, think of it this way. Think about 30 years from now, and
Yeah.
somebody, like you just said, how are you going to convey what 2016 felt like?
everybody, just a video of everybody on their phone,
Yeah, yeah.
just
But-
a bunch of people not talking to each other.
Yeah, that'll just be a different
And
version
fire.
of that 30 years from now. I feel like it'll just be everybody
The
in
picture
there.
of this room
Yeah.
talking about.
Just podcast.
Yeah, it'll just be a list of iTunes podcasts. It'll be like, this was a cool year, you know. But you're right. We don't have, like, I guess we, but you know what's funny is this day and age, we're like, it's like we miss that stuff. So you ever notice, like, we're doing throwback everything. Like, we're like, look at this old Miller Lite can, and look at this old Pepsi
Yeah,
can,
very
look
retro.
at these old
We're
jerseys. It's
retooling
like-
Roseanne, we're retooling
it's
Murphy
like,
Brown.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
a
we
remake.
want. It's like we made everything more advanced and more like more smarter is not the way to say that sentence. But essentially, I think we all want to go back to simpler times.
I think you're right.
You know what? Like we made a phone with a camera, and then everybody was like, "You know what? We really liked Polaroids." Like
Yeah,
people have
yeah,
record
yeah,
players
yeah.
now. It's like we made this fucking easier, and we're like,
Absolutely.
"Let's use the needle thing." You know, like it's crazy, like where we are.
Oh, sure. But I will say this. I kind of have to give a point to Dazed and Confused. I'll tell you why. Because they recreated the 70s and did a great job.
They did.
The other
Yeah.
one, they weren't. In all
Well,
fairness, they
one's
weren't
not a
trying
recreation,
To, I
is
know,
the
but I'm
thing.
saying, like...
Yeah.
But they still kind of like... If you look at those side to side, they just look like they were made in their time period.
And I think people
'Cause
like
even
to see
film-wise-
that. They like to see the clothes. Like people will be like, "Oh,
I
the bell
think-
bottoms. That's so fun."
I will relent that
The
point. I think
cars.
Dazed and Confused is a more fun time capture.
Yeah.
Because it was trying to do that. That was one of its goals.
Yeah.
Whereas Fast Times is just a picture of a snapshot of a year in 1982.
Yeah.
It wasn't trying to be like, hey,
Yeah.
remember how it was in high school in 76?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's probably a little more fun to watch for that point alone. But I still... All right, so...
But you could watch if you had to watch. You're telling me that you could honestly watch if you had to watch it every night for a month. You could watch Fast Times at Ridgemont High every night for a month.
It always is. We do a
I
thing
would
called the
want
flip
to
test.
kill myself.
Well, our test is the flip test. If it's on, would you just sit down and you're watching? You're stuck For me, Fast Times, absolutely.
Really?
I could turn Dazed and Confused
Would you
off.
do that with Dazed and Confused?
I would do that with, because I used to watch, when I was in college, that was like, I had like 3 movies that I would rotate.
I did too when I was younger. Dazed and Confused was one of them.
Dazed and Confused, Zoolander, and Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. I would watch
I
one
was
of
Mallrats.
those. Yeah, I loved Chasing Amy too.
But Fast Times flip test, easy for me because I love almost every scene. I love so many quotes in the movie.
But also, if it's on TV, you don't get the tit scene.
You don't get the tit scene, but there's, you know
you
what?
don't get the tit
I've
scene.
seen it so many times. I don't need. I like the lines.
has
There's
it
so
in his
many.
brain.
There's so many classic. Damone is such a hilarious,
So
funny
great.
character.
Yeah.
With his 5-point plans, just like the way he speaks is so. He's like trying to be wiser. He's a ticket scalper in high school,
Yeah.
which is just so funny to me.
And
he's so sarcastic and great.
Do you ever think it's weird the way the main teenager looks in Dazed and Confused? That kid looks like a 14-year-old girl, kind of.
Mitch?
Mitch?
Yeah.
Mitch
Mitch
that
is
was-
one of the most hateable characters of all time, in my opinion.
Mitch?
Count. I might change it.
Mitch,
Mitchy.
you had to like,
Mitchy,
you
Mitchy,
had,
Mitchy,
because he
Mitchy.
got the crowd, like, I mean, he got so picked on and then he got the girl. You had to be like,
Can
all
I
right,
ruin
at the
Mitch
end,
for
it's
you?
like, why?
Count how many times he touches his fucking face with his hand.
He does. That was part of his
and
whole
one time,
thing. It
it's
was
just
part of his whole
it's
thing.
so aggravating
Well,
to
it's
me.
bad acting.
Yeah, I know, but don't we love bad acting? I love bad acting when someone goes, and like literally has to physically show you what they're feeling.
Yeah,
He
I
does
love
it
bad
outside the
acting.
Emporium scene. In high school, we used to count how many times he
He always
Every time they
he-
drink, every time he touches his face.
Yeah, I know, but that's kind of the funniest part because you're like, this guy has no idea what's going
So we kind of touched on it before. What about cast? Which one has a better cast? He brought up like 3 Oscar winners on the top of his head. That kind of
No
he might have it on
contest.
What?
You got a bunch of losers in Dazed and
No
Confused.
way, no,
Jeremy
this is-
London, come on.
Cole Hauser, Melissa Ribisi, that one guy that was in Empire Records with the long hair, the stoner guy, he's really fun.
Oh,
Yeah, but he
how about
kinda-
a young Eric
and he-
Stoltz? He's one of Nick Cage's buddies.
I do like
billed
Eric
as Nick Coppola, by the way.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. That was his first movie,
Yeah.
right? Which also, like, was handed to him.
Hope you had a hell of a
Nick
piss, Arnold.
Cage didn't do anything. You know? He
No,
was,
I mean, well.
handed these things. Everyone in my movie scraped. They all lived on couches. All of them lived in their car.
We could go director.
Oh, you want to go?
I hate
One is
Richard
Amy
Linklater.
Heckerling, right?
Yeah, Amy Heckerling.
Amy Heckerling, and then Richard Linklater.
Richard Linklater.
Well,
Which
she
films I hate?
takes the cake on that one.
I don't
If you
know.
want to make, as far as movie making goes, then they're both comedies, but Linklater's made some pretty artistically
He's just
fulfilling movies.
Yeah, he's not one of my guys. I kind of
You don't like
I don't like
Linklater.
Linklater at all.
So really,
Slacker is
Boyhood?
I hated Boyhood.
Really?
Yeah, I really did.
wow,
I
people
didn't
love
watch
Boyhood.
it.
Clueless,
seemed like
Heckerling, Clueless. Come on,
I mean,
classic.
Clueless is great. They're making that a musical.
But Heckerling was
Look who's
only.
talking.
Look who's talking. But she's strictly comedies. And
Yeah.
she's not known for her directly. Anybody could
No,
direct in
no.
those movies.
But
Yeah.
let's see. What do you think the funniest scene in Fast Times at Ridgemont High is? 'Cause
There's
I'll put it up
so
against the
many to
funniest
pick.
scene in Dazed and Confused any day, which is Fry You Freshman Piggies. Are you fucking kidding me?
That's
when they
for
lie,
a girl. That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh my god, my entire senior, all the girls in my senior class, we dressed like that. When we were
The
seniors.
funniest scene is obviously the abortion scene.
You. Can we do 2 fingers to the sky for that one? For all the deceased children
fake
and the
daddies in the
world.
movie?
Yeah, we're just going bowling. Brad Caesar.
You're
It's a nice
rude.
brother sister moment at the
You're
end.
so rude.
No, there's way too many to pick. I don't know if I have a favorite one.
anytime Mike Damone's on screen
I
would be
love
for me.
Damone's 5-point plan. Just the way he goes. All right, now wherever you are, act like that's the place to be. Isn't this great?
Okay, Damone was a great character, but wasn't he? Isn't it one of those things that they always say?
We never
where-
saw from Rick Moranis again.
I know, but everybody
I know.
but didn't he looked like he had a 401k in high school? Like he looked like a grown
Well,
up as like
to
a
be
teenager.
fair, you could
I
probably
hate
make
when
the
they
same
do
excuse
that.
for some of the
He looked
Dazed
like-
and Confused actors.
May-
No, she's
Nah.
right. He looked like 45 years
Yeah,
old.
it was
in high
like
school.
it was like
He
same
talked
as like
like it, he acted like
90210
it.
when it's like Andrea Zuckerman. She's like, I'm in high school. You're like, you have 5 kids. I'm like,
Well, she really was 35
40.
or something,
She was
right?
35, and she's like, I'm just a junior. You're like, get out of here. What are we doing? Like,
Get out of here,
you're
nerd.
going through menopause.
funniest-
Stop it.
Now, when it comes to the ordering, you find out what the lady wants, and then you order for her. It's a classy move. Lady will have the linguine and white clam sauce and a Coke, no ice. Coke, no ice is so
But
funny to me.
couldn't you argue that like basically him and Spicoli were the only like characters. Like everybody else was kind of playing a straight man, whereas in Dazed and Confused, Parker Posey was playing somebody. The stoner kid, we had
Parker
Matthew
Posey
McConaughey,
was-
we had Mitch doing his weird shit. Like there were so many different characters.
Well, I'll
No,
interject.
Rat.
Parker Posey was playing Parker Posey. She
Yeah.
does that in every... Watch Get Best in Show. She's the same...
Right, you
I'll
love
tell you this
it.
much.
You
But
love it.
It's, Parker Posey is almost the opposite, because Parker Posey now seems like she's still the same age she was in Dazed and
I
Confused.
love Parker Posey.
I loved her.
And then
I'll give you this. I was so much more attracted to the female cast in Dazed and Confused
Yes.
than the Fast Times female cast.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh,
With
yeah.
Phoebe Cates?
I loved Parker. So 93, I was 8th grade. 90, and then I started watching it heavily in like throughout high school. So I was just like, peaking with testosterone and hormones.
Yeah.
And Parker Posey,
Yeah.
Mila Jo. I mean, I loved
And then
him.
the main girl's name, the one who went on to play the only other role I remember her in is the daughter in the Coneheads
See?
movies.
Who was
What
that?
was her name?
Oh, wait.
The main girl.
In Dazed and Confused?
Yeah. But she was so pretty. Mitch's older sister.
Oh yeah, I don't know
Oh,
her name.
she was great.
She's
yeah,
so hot
she was
too.
She was so pretty.
She was in Kevin Smith movie, too. She was...
She kind of has a Linda Fiorentino. No, not
No,
Linda
she does.
Fiorentino. Linda Cardellini.
And wasn't she
From Freaks and
also
Greeks.
in the state movie?
Which state movie?
The camp one.
Oh, not Brain Candy. That's Kids in the Hall. Yeah, Wet Hot American Summer.
Well, Hot American Summer.
Oh, okay, yeah.
She's in that, too, isn't she?
I think that's
her?
a different actress.
That might be a different actress. Okay.
That's a different actress. I know who you mean,
Yeah.
but it's a different actress. This is where the fans are screaming at us right now.
know.
Going, I know who that is.
There's a review on the iTunes.
Call board is lighting up.
Yeah,
There's a review on the
no
iTunes that says, why would these guys? Why would they want to start a movie podcast with two people that know nothing about movies?
Because we can do whatever we want.
We know enough.
Don't listen, asshole.
Yeah. Listen, make your own podcast, nerds.
So I think when it comes down to, I think she has you on director. I think just as far as pedigree goes, even though it's comedy, he's done other comedies too. He does, and he has a better track record and he's directed more movies. Amy Heckling's kind of retired at this point. I think
All right. I mean,
Well, they're
but
probably
as far
the-
as
probably close to the
comedy
same
goes,
age,
it's
too.
Fast Times is just funnier. It's a funnier movie.
I don't think so.
maybe it might come down to, not to be genderist here, might come down to guys versus girls, because maybe it's funnier to teenage
that
girls.
could
And
be.
they're both like they're both very like, this is our high school movie,
Coming of age.
coming of age
high
high school movie.
Yeah.
And I'm actually shocked that you don't like Dazed and Confused better, because you're a big old hippie.
Well,
that
that's not true.
That is true. He's a big old hippie.
No, it's not.
Big ol'-
I just
Loves-
He says as
loves
he wears
fish.
a fish t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like some hippie music, but I would distance myself from that category of person.
You are a hacky sacking.
hacky sack and shit talking.
So
Non-show.
I think when it comes down to it, you have cast.
Cast,
Cast.
come on.
It might be Fast Times might have won on cast. I don't know, I'm trying to.
There's some-
I'm
there's
trying
some
to go
bad
with my
acting
gut
in
here with like
Dazed.
which one's a better movie. I'll tell you. You know what's
I
funny?
can't believe it's this close.
It's this strange. It's a strange thing. You can't believe it's this close.
I can't.
Well, you know what it is? It's this.
Fast Times is a class. It's like iconic, classic.
So was Dazed and Confused.
Dazed and Confused for me was actually a high school experience for me.
Yeah,
I didn't
everybody
watch
was
Fast
watching
Times as much. I almost found out about it later.
I saw Fast Times.
So
as
I
a-
have
did I.
that really.
So did I.
Yeah.
See, I saw Fast Times as like a kid, like on Channel 11, like in the afternoons,
Yeah.
like as a kid before high school, and I loved it then because it was just like, ooh, older kid, high school hijinks.
Yeah. See, I remember I was saying when Dazed and Confused came out, it was kind of like, I mean, I was still younger, but what I remember when, like, I watched it way sooner than I did Fast Times, and then I rewatched it like a million. Like, it was the thing you did with your friends. You're like, we're gonna watch Dazed and Confused because you almost.
I
felt
did that
like you
too.
were
I've done it with both of them. That's
Yeah.
why this was
Also-
a hard one for me, but I
Yeah.
love Fast Times so much
And it's
more.
true. Like, I think Fast Times was kind of supposed to be half drama. Like, it was a drama.
Yeah,
in
but
a
it's
way.
still the funnier picture. It still is.
It's
just
funnier to
maybe
me,
you know
like-
what. I'm just not doing myself any favors here, but it's
One of
like
my
maybe
favorite
over
things ever-
time,
yeah.
it's like it's aged better. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
The lines to me now, like stuff. Here's why I think it edges it out because the line, like I discover new stuff. I'm like, that's so hilarious. How have I never seen that before?
Yeah, because you
about
didn't get
Fast
it. 'Cause
Times.
it's like there was some still adult stuff in it, probably that.
But
as a grown-up,
but
you're
now
like,
Dazed and Confused, I'm kind of like, oh, I'm over it. You know what I mean?
Because Dazed and Confused, I don't feel like there's anything like that you see as you're older. Like you watch it for what it is. It's just a
Well,
good
doesn't
time
that make
over a
Fast
thing.
Times the better picture?
No, because why do you have to? Because you have to wait 10 years until you get it. No.
No, it's not waiting. It's not that I'm not getting things. I'm just like, oh, maybe that's just a
doesn't
funnier. I've
understand
never
the
noticed
movie.
that being as funny as it was.
I'll tell you the negative of what happens with Dazed and Confused. There's not much to hold on to with Dazed and Confused. Like if you think back, and this goes back to story. I feel like when I'm not to get too heady about two comedies that are based in high school, but I mean. Fast Times does have way more of a story to follow. Dazed and Confused, you're kind of watching 4 scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One of them you're watching for scenes, the other one you're like, oh, I want to watch the whole movie, and you can get involved like a regular movie. Dazed and Confused, I'm not like, oh, I gotta see how this day ends. Like you kind of just like...
It's a little more mindless.
It's a little more
fun.
mindless.
That's what I'm saying.
You're saying it's an advantage. See, I'm
Yeah.
saying it as...
Oh, I'm saying it's a deterrent.
I'm saying it's a deterrent.
No, I think it's kind. I mean, because like I said, I think at the end of a movie, I don't want to leave being like, bleh. Like I want to just kind of be like fun, light. Like
Well,
Dazed
you
and
do
Confused
have
is
that
like-
ending. The Fast Times has the classic like screen stop and then the text on the screen. You know, it's
Oh
like
yeah,
The
yeah,
follow-
Brad Hamilton went
Animal
on to
House
become
follow-ups.
manager of the
I do
7-Eleven.
love
Yeah.
follow-ups. I think
So you get
follow-ups are
closure
fun.
and you know what happens with
Yeah.
all the,
But I see-
Ratner got caught selling Ozzy Osbourne. So Damone
Yeah.
got caught selling Ozzy Osbourne tickets.
But I don't know. I think like knowing for the scenes, knowing that you could like with Dazed and Confused, you know what's coming. You could kind of like go into the kitchen. Like you don't have to like pause it. I feel like for Fast Times, you're just kind of like ugh, like you would have to like follow the story, right? I think actually not having to be like so committed all the
I
time.
don't know about that excuse.
Is this going anywhere? Am I winning? Did I make sense?
I like how Fast Times wraps up with everything.
Do you want to hear what my decision is?
Okay.
Okay, I'll tell you right now what this is based on. Now, I'm trying to say right now what I'm thinking of it this way. If both of them were on, and based off what you said, which one would I let go and then maybe check back to, and which one would I leave on? This is going to go to a flip test situation. And I flip test what I would stay on and watch the rest of is Fast Times.
Oh, losers.
But I will
Boys
say...
rule.
You guys hate fun.
But
You love abortions.
But I will say, we do. We're just like, yeah.
You love
And
abortions.
we love people getting Me Too'd. We love it. And that's actually the motto of the podcast.
I
And,
left out a bunch too. I could go to
It's-
the
I
well so
love-
much more. I didn't want this to turn into just
I
me
love Fast
quoting
Times.
Fast
Me
Times
too.
because there's
go
so
ahead.
much more.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, but I will say this about I think like the intended goal of what Fast Times should have been like a Dazed and Confused.
You know what?
Like,
That's
Wait, no,
fair.
hold on.
That's
Explain
the
it more.
main point.
What do you mean more?
Meaning, it should have been more of a mindless movie. It kind of has the veneer of a mindless movie with like an abortion in it. Like, it's
Yeah.
almost like
I
Saturday Night
think
Fever.
Spicoli is like cartoony enough, but they have that like where Mr. Hand comes over. I mean, Aloha,
Yeah.
Mr. Hand is kind of an icon. I
It's
mean,
like weird when you
Beastie Boys kind of made that more
I think
popular.
it was like they were growing pains for comedies back then when like they didn't know, oh, we're getting into this world of wacky comedies, but also because it's based off this novel, it has heavy shit in it.
Yeah.
Because Cameron Crowe found some heavy stuff, I guess. But like, okay, Saturday Night Fever has a rape in it, and it's about dancing. Like, that's weird,
Yeah.
too. You know what I'm saying? Like, it has that feel to me, where you're like, some of this seems out of place, but I do like it better as a movie, and I would stay on it.
Me
But
too.
part of the reason is because of that story thing. Like, it keeps you with it more for that, but not for the comedy where I think, but I have more of an emotional attachment to Dazed and Confused because I watched that in high
So
school.
much, yeah.
And I had friends that it was like, it wasn't my favorite, but it was like, I had friends
just
that it
always
was
on somewhere.
It was always on.
Yeah.
And I had friends that like lived their lives like it, you know?
Yeah.
Two
Yeah.
very highly quotable movies. It's like I said, I love both. It was a tough one for me.
Damone
It's
also
it's
is
hard
one of
for me
my
to
favorite
slight
things
things
ever in a movie.
Favorite ever. Spicoli's great. I mean, just his whole. The names in Fast Times are great. You have Marianne. Yeah, there's 3 Pat Benetars this year. Marianne Zlotnick. It's like it's got so much. It's got so many layers of great stuff. Just when he's having the whole rolling he saved Brooke Shields fantasy, and he's dreaming.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah.
He's getting interviewed by students. Where'd you get that jacket? Oh, I got this from the network. I can't even get through it. So he's like, there's some good surfers out there. Mark Turnback Davis. It's so funny.
Andy loves it. Casey, thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah,
Okay,
thanks.
yeah.
Case.
That was so great. That was a valiant effort. And you,
Thank
and,
you.
and honestly, like, yeah, I'm just basing it off that one thing of like, oh, which one would I leave on and which one would I go back to try to catch scenes for? And I would leave on.
Yeah, I agree with that 100% because
But as far as like what I have more of an emotional attachment to is Dazed and Confused, because it's like I was younger when I watched it. That's
Yeah,
why.
yeah.
I didn't. Fast Times I didn't get when it came out. I didn't have that attachment to it.
I'm the opposite, but I do.
But that's my opinion. But email us. Let us know what you think.
Ooh, a coming-of-age cage match.
DefendYourMovie@gmail.com. Let us know what other movies you think we should match up. Casey, what would you like to promote, my friend?
When does this come out?
Friday.
Friday.
I love all those.
Is that
your Twitter?
Yeah, my Twitter is
Very hard.
at CaseFaceB on Instagram.
Say that again. Say that again.
Case.
Did you take some kind of alcohol before you just did that? You have a shot of whiskey. Hey.
I do podcasts and I always know they're going to ask me about something and I never fucking figure it out.
That
I
screams
never bring
AOL
something-
screen name like 14.
I'm at B12 girl at AOL.
They love vitamins.
It was actually BEE with a 12 because a 1-2 was beer. I was like beer. I was a loser. Okay,
That's
now
funny.
I'm
I
I
like
shot a P12.
You know what that would be? Dazed and Confused.
Yes. Okay. Case
Ready to pick
CASEFACEB on Instagram and at Casey Balsham on Twitter. And I'm gonna be in London and Amsterdam in the next couple weeks doing shows. So
You travel good. I
we
know that.
are
I've seen
so
that about
poor.
you.
I don't know what we're doing. I don't know how we're doing this. Get a credit card, get points.
And Andy, what would you like to promote?
You can just follow me at Andy Fiore as always, and just check AndyFiore.com. AndyFiore.com. Speaking of high school.
Yeah.
For all my tour dates. I'm in the city this weekend.
apples, right?
I'm in the city for most of December, but then got some fun road dates coming up in January, so check it out.
Yeah.
I am at Shawnee Time on Twitter and Instagram. And then, I will be tomorrow, when you're hearing this, tomorrow I will be at a show at the Newtown Theater.
Oh, great show. Yeah.
Really?
It's great.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be there with my
Connecticut?
friend Mike
Pennsylvania.
Gaffney, who's super funny, that I've had on the
I was
podcast,
just
I believe,
in
yeah.
Tarrytown Theater thing.
And so come check out if you're in the area. Newtown, it's in New Jersey,
Newtown,
right?
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Newtown, Pennsylvania. Come check it out. It'll be great. It's me and my buddy. It'll be a great show. And then check out showbizstudios.com. That's where we record this little ditty each week. And showbizstudios.com. They have an iTunes page. They also have a YouTube page where you can check out all the great Showbiz Studios podcasts. A bunch of our friends have them, and just go on there and enjoy. And we will see you next week. And we love you very much. Bye bye. Bye bye.
There's a time